5 signs you've got mold in your house. It's one of the most frequent questions I'm asked as a building biologist. How do I know if there is mold? Well, the straight answer is often you don't without gathering multiple forms of evidence. And that's where the problem lies. Some of the worst homes I've tested, I cannot see or smell mold. Yet there are key findings in the building history, the inspection, and in the occupant health issues that encouraged me to test the home. My name is Nicole Bijlsma. I'm a building biologist, have a PhD in environmental health, and for the past 25 years, I've been walking into the homes of families who cannot figure out why they are sick. I've tested hundreds of homes, and some of the worst homes with the highest level of mold in the sampling data had no visible mold or smell. However, the health history told a very different story. So let me give you 5 things to look for right now in your own home. Number 1, signs of condensation. Now, water droplets on cold surfaces like windows is condensation. Fogging on the bathroom window while showering, damp patches on the walls, especially in cool areas like corners, behind furnishings, and along the skirting boards. Essentially, when water vapour hits a cold surface at dew point, that's when condensation occurs. If the condensate is present for more than 48 hours and there is a food source, that's when you'll get visible mould. Number 2, visible mould. I'm not talking about the black spots in the grout of your shower. Pretty much most people have that. It's localised and very unlikely to be a health issue. I'm talking about the visible mould appearing in multiple rooms on multiple surfaces, clothing, shoes, furnishings, skirting boards. This suggests the moisture problem is systemic, such as elevated water vapour, as opposed to a leak. For example, living in a humid climate zone or having inadequate exhaust ventilation in the bathrooms, kitchen and laundry, resulting in increased water vapour. That's a different conversation that we'll talk about in another podcast. Visible mould exceeding 1 square metre is a red flag that warrants further investigation. Number 3, odour. Damp, musty, earthy odours that hit you when you open a cupboard, walk into a room, or arrive at home after time away, are volatile organic compounds released by the mould when it's growing. So it's a really important marker of a water damaged building. Number 4, a history of water damage. Without moisture, there's no microbial growth. Mold spores are everywhere, including in healthy homes. It's when you have high levels of settled spores that it becomes a health risk. So a flood, even years ago, a roof leak that was fixed, a burst flexi hose under the kitchen, or rising damp from the subfloor. Water events that happened before you even moved in. Many of the sickest homes that I test have a history their occupants didn't know about. Number 5, your health and the timing of symptoms is critical. Asthma that doesn't respond to treatment. Allergies that come out of nowhere or got dramatically worse after you moved into the home or after a water event. Recurrent respiratory tract infections that keep coming back, that persist for weeks or months. We're talking bronchitis, chronic sinusitis, even pneumonia, the kind where the antibiotics only work for a short term and then you're back at the doctor. A persistent cough that no one can explain. These aren't random, they are signals. So here's what I need you to understand about mold in the home. Some of the worst homes I have ever tested had no visible mold or odour and no obvious sign of water damage. Yet there was a history of moisture ingress, such as leaks or elevated water vapour, and the air sampling data showed very high levels of Aspergillus and Penicillium compared to the outdoor levels. You can't always see it or smell it, but your body may already be telling you. If you've ticked any of these 2 of the 5 signs, condensation, visible mould, musty odour, history of water damage, or persistent recurrent respiratory tract infections that won't resolve, don't ignore it. Have your home assessed by an indoor environmental professional or building biologist, someone trained to find the moisture source, undertake and interpret the sampling, and give you data. Let the data do the talking, not guesswork. Once you know, you can't unknow. Subscribe, because the research exists. It's just not being told.